Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to be needing more of this, more lime, more blocks and a few ideas. So let's head inside and run around a few ideas with you. Yeah, so we're on the back wall of the cottage. Kitchen, stroke, this side, lounge, dining. Not quite defined the space just yet. So here's what I'm thinking. We've got our first course of block in, lime infill. Now don't forget I'm creating a retaining wall. So I've got to design this in to the area. We need another row of blocks on top. But then the wall kind of steps back quite a bit. Now this has got to be lime, but what I'm thinking maybe on the top section, really depends on how good or bad the stonework is maybe point that half of it up, and the bottom half that will be rendered won't be seen, because what I'm thinking at the moment is this ledge here, turning it into a feature. Timber across the top, lime, and then on the front of that an upstand with some more timber. So this is kind of like a built-in bench, quite a big one. Could kind of incorporate maybe a little table this side for sitting down and eating, allow us a lot more space in the kitchen area. There'll be a return wall here, so it will be defined as a different area. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. Yeah, I think that would be a nice feature. A few people sat down here, some nice cushions and period bits of timber, maybe these door panels, you know, across the back to a certain height. Something to think about, definitely. But before I do any of that, I've got to get these blocks set, and then we'll work from there. But I thought I'd share it with you, see what you thought. So what I need to be mindful of is the bond. We don't want a straight line near another straight vertical. So what we're going to have to do is take the first one out, stagger it back. It's going to be backfilled, so it doesn't matter too much. And that way we miss that vertical. We've got enough there to go again with a full block. Maybe this one. So now we've got a staggered bond between the two. The verticals don't line up with the course above. We'll just simply infill through there. This is the retaining wall. So yeah, I think this could work as a seating area. Yeah, two birds with one stone kind of thing. Otherwise it'll just mean that, you know, continue the wall up and we'll lose quite a lot of area behind. Could shelf it out. So once we've sort of got a backrest there, maybe point it as mentioned. If not, it will be rendered. Quite a lot of small stones, which can sometimes be rather tricky when you scrape out the old sort of clay infill. Sometimes you lose those stones, so it's not always best to point everything. This would have always been covered with, which was on it, like a thick lime coat. So I'll just have to work with what I've got really. It's looking like it could do with a coat of render, but I'll get it hosed down, brushed back and see what we're dealing with. But that's that section. For now, we're dealing with this section. Pretty happy with that. Run some cables behind if I need any power over this side, which I will. So that's another consideration. And sockets and lighting. Yeah. Very important to factor that in when you're constructing. Now I find mixing up the lime and the sand together dry, several batches, getting your ratios correct, get them mixed up dry, and then when you're ready, what you can handle, mix that up with the water, spin it over, let it rest for a little while, 10-15 minutes, go back to it, give it another mix, then adjust it. I don't want anything too runny, it's got to hold its shape, but at the same time be able to flow into all the gaps and joints in the blocks. So that's what I'm doing. I've got one ready, we'll get that poured in and we'll just work our way like that. The weather is very hot, it's coming up to 30 in the morning 30 degrees, so don't really want to be knocking this up if it gets any hotter. So what I need to do, set this next course. This one's just a half a block. So what I may do is just set this one and then work that way without overfilling it because it'll just fall out. When it comes to putting the top rebar in, we'll drill a hole into the post. That's what I'm doing, I'm working my way along. getting a mix in there just so I can move these blocks into position, tap them down, lift them up a little bit if need be, pack a little bit underneath. Doesn't matter too much because when I come to put the timber going across, I'll sit that in a mix, and in the base of the timber I'll put some fixings, some nails staggered at different angles, set that into the top mix, and that will hold that seat nice and solid without any fixings from above. When it comes to the last bit in the bucket, make sure you give it a good scrape round, get all the old mix out before you put the fresh in. Several reasons. It'll make your bucket too heavy if you keep leaving it in there. You'll be carrying it around for nothing. And the old lime starts to dry, and that'll affect the quality of your mix. Nice and clean. Let's drill into the post for our rebar. Although it's swelteringly hot today, they do forecast a severe thunderstorm. To get me timings right today. Let's try this mix out. These sort of bits, we'll break them up, put them to one side. The ones we can probably face off with, all these little bits, we'll break them up and use them as infill. Nothing goes to waste. Also, not to forget, keeping the job area nice and moist. For weeks and weeks, you know, the blocks have been dried. And as soon as you put the mix in it, it will suck the moisture straight out. And I'll do that regularly throughout the day. Well, the first few days, depending on temperature and humidity. I don't like to pour it straight out the bucket because there's too much mass coming out at one go. Sometimes lose the level of your blocks. Once you've got enough in there, you can do that. I'll find anyway, this is the best way. Okay, another bit of rebar across the top of those blocks. And then what I'll do in the centre is drive a rebar down into the bottom course that's already gone off set, and then we'll lock the horizontal into the vertical bar. That way we've got a nice strong retaining wall. Good. So now the bar will just slide right into there and then into the grooves on top of the blocks. I'll just tie that together, some wire, and the same now, and we're locked into the wall. Our wire. Now it's just a case of agitating it into all the voids. If you do get lime on you and you start sweating, it can burn as well. Wash it off. And what we'll do down the end is use these offcuts just slide them in. That way it kind of makes it a lot stronger in that area. And likewise, moving along on the back void, these offcuts will just slide in. As luck would have it, that half mirrors exactly that one, so literally tapped it in place. And once I've got a good layer of lime through there, I'll insert this back area here, insert the rebar across and continue filling and building upwards. Yeah, things are moving along rather nicely now. Once I've got this area sorted, probably drop back into the kitchen area. And I've been thinking about getting ready to put the floor down. We've got some lovely tomettes to go down, 18th century tomettes, so they will look fantastic in that area there. Not quite sure if I've got enough to go all the way through, but I can pretty much pick them up, you know, off the local ads and that, and from some brocantes, so I'm not too concerned if I do run out. It would be nice in that kitchen area to get it nice and flat and level, and that way I can start building my stud work and all my cabinetry off of a nice level floor. At the moment it's a bit undulated, let's say. I'm well pleased with progress. It's really moving along now. The heat does play a part in it, but I'm certainly not complaining. Now, quite a few people in the last video made a few comments, which is always good, about the sink. Do I need 2 sinks? Well, no, I don't need 2 sinks. Whether or not I'd like to have 2 sinks might be another issue, but I've made my mind up about them, I think. I always planned on getting one of these white enamel sinks. A lot more practical. It was just a matter of if and when at the time I managed to get it when I was doing what I was doing. Anyway, I have. So now I'm thinking granite, stone, trough, stroke, sink. Do I use it? Well, I was going to use it. I was going to have both of them. That one was going to be used like kind of not so much a sink, but a preparation area. It's going to have like an insert wooden board inside, so it was kind of flush with the surrounding worktop, so it could be lifted out and I could use it to clean things down. But I'm thinking maybe now, maybe it won't go into the design. Maybe it will go outside. Spoke to Sam about it as well. We can rig up the hose outside and wash off our vegetables from the greenhouse over there outside. Kind of eliminate a little bit of work that way. And we'll just use 1 sink. So that's what I plan to do in this video anyway. It might change, but no, I think pretty much that is going to be the way to go. We're going to have the sink there. I was going to do a U-shaped kitchen. I think what I'll probably do is just 2 sides now and have the cooker dead ahead there. But anyway, that's another video. Back to this one. You know, it's the same with this area. At the moment I'm thinking bench. I think I'm going to go with that design because it makes good use of this recess. You know, eliminate the need for any bulky chairs or anything if we do have a table. So yeah, that would work. Maybe above it, maybe some shelves, maybe a bookcase above. Sam's keen to have a library in here for all of her book collection. I think that would make good use of the space as well. Nice and high up as well, so there won't be any risk of dampness. There shouldn't be anyway, you know, just in case. Way up there, that'll be fine. Slowly evolving. Can you see how my mind works? Not everything stays, you know, to my original idea. as I work through it. You know, I'm not too proud to say that's not a good idea when I come to it. It's not about that, is it? It's about the end result. If I can get it just how I want it, then yeah, I'll be more than happy with that. So we'll tweak things as we go. You know, I do listen to people's comments. Good to see things from different angles. So don't, you know, feel like you can't make a comment. I just run them past, you know, everyone. What's the worst that can happen? Just say, no, I don't think I'll go for that. Another thing you can do if you want to support the channel is make sure you are still subscribed. Sometimes YouTube will go along and sometimes unsubscribe people, so please check you're subscribed, give us a like, thumbs up, hit that bell. Together we can get to 50k. The elusive 50k. That'd be nice. I've got a nice big thick plank to go on here. Might take two. Yeah, it depends how wide they are. I think they're quite wide. But it'll be perfect for here. Like I say, for the backrest for the bench. Maybe those doors across there. Yeah. Nice cushions. And a little sit down, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Not yet though. Another mix. So that's nicely set in now. Won't disturb that anymore. Let's work back down to this end. That's the additional piece we put in. So let's backfill around that and get that nice and set. And when it comes to the big pour, you know, ramming stones and that down there, nothing will move out of line. And it'll give us a bit of resistance to start filling along there. And for this area here, we'll infill it with some offcuts. Then it's just a case of working through these, breaking them up. Okay. Have to clear the floor soon anyway, as mentioned. I'll be doing that in the coming week. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, check if you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.